Okay, this is the northwest corner of the fort on the beach, on the northwest defences. This used to be right on the edge of the water, obviously, but it's not anymore. And I'm looking in particular straight across the road there. You see below that building on the wall there, you've got like a bin cupboard with two metal doors lower down. That's actually a World War II pillbox. There was a big room behind that originally, and there'd be loads of machine guns sticking out there, pointing out across the water behind me. But obviously there's nothing behind me now, apart from a dirty great building. And here's another shot looking up the old fort wall, northwest corner. There's the World War II pillbox built into the wall. It's probably still there behind all that concrete. And there's the rock. And this was all beach. It's all highly built up on now. Okay, still in the northwest corner of the fort on the northern defences. This is the west place of arms. And we're just coming round looking at the waterport casemates. This is where the boats used to approach, and the boat entrance to the city, which was that roundabout just there. Okay, so this is the waterport entrance. This is where the boats moored up, around this roundabout when it was sticking out into the sea. Waterport casemates, and over there, just behind the traffic light, you can just about make out the entrance onto the Devil's Tongue, which that part of it's gone now, obviously, and been bricked up. Okay, we're looking back towards Waterport casemates now, and behind these buildings, that's the site of the Devil's Tongue, and it runs along the back of these bins. So there's all these buildings there now, and if you see where the people are sitting down over there, there's privets behind, and that is the Devil's Tongue, what's left of it. Okay, this is what's left of the Devil's Tongue. Comes along here. It is a bit of a monument. As you can see, they built the land up, but the guns were in here, look. Let's go in. This is one of the gun ports. See, the cannon would have been at the end there. And you can see, looking along the top, the actual tongue is still here. Now, the room behind where the cannons used to be, this is all a garden centre now. I don't know if we can see over the fence there. But someone's got a business in there, you know, selling plants and things. Again, we can see there's repeated gun ports along here, all covered in vegetation, and it goes all the way to the end. We've got a statue of Admiral Brooke there from 1704. Okay, and then another one of the cannon enclosures. I'm just looking over the wall. You can see what's left of the gun emplacement here, and the plants that are all growing in the garden centre. So yeah, lethal fire came from these embrasures. Is that the right word, embrasure? Something like that. It was originally built by the Spanish, but beefed up a bit by the British. Looks very different today, for sure. It's celebrating the nautical past. Look, we've got an anchor there from a Roman ship they found in the mud, and they've got a plaque on the wall, look, and little holes for shooting muskets out of. Extended and strengthened after Britain took the rock in 1704. The old mole was known to the Spaniards as Devil's Tongue, being such a scourge to their shipping. And it looked out across the water behind us, which today there's no water there. Look, there's water on the other side of all these blocks of flats. This is called Waterport, and we just got a load of shopping and buildings looking back up to the old town and the Moorish castle on the top. Now, where the old mole ended, which is just under that skull, you can see there's a skull there, been built on top of it, I think it's a listed building, that's why they can't knock it down. But this is pretty much the end of the old mole, and they just keep building more and more in the sea. And this is pretty much the end of the old mole. You can see looking in through the gates of the garden centre there. It's actually a really good garden centre, this. I've bought loads of stuff from here. It's really good. And crossing over the road, you can see this is, there's a push the road through there. But this is the old mole head, which is obviously listed, isn't it? Now we're looking at Casemates again, the Waterport area, the Waterport roundabout, and this is the entrance to the Devil's Tongue, to the mole. Obviously this part of it's been demolished because they built a road here and some buildings behind me, but there's only the end of the Devil's Tongue that remains in position. And I'm going to go around to the other side of the wall and I'll show you the entrance to it. Now, as you've seen, ships used to moor up around this roundabout, and Ocean Village, as it's called, it's all built in the sea. The Devil's Tongue estate. Okay, this is Fish Market Lane. It's between the inner wall and the outer wall. That's the inner wall of the fortress, the fish market being there. And right behind me we've got the entrance to the Devil's Tongue battery, and you can see the original old doors are still there, look, and that goes through the wall, and you can see where they've smashed the door frame away to make way for the larger cannons to fit through. When the cannons got bigger, the wheelbases got bigger, and let's make the door wider to get them in. Again, we're just outside Casemate Square here. You can see the entrance over there, other side of the bus station. We're inside the inner and outer wall, and this is Corral Road. I guess they used to have horses here. And we're going to go round now to the Lamport Ditch. Okay, so we're inside the outer wall. This is the outer wall we're looking at now. The sea was on the outside of this, and we're down in the northwest corner of the fort. Okay, now this is the Lamport Ditch. This was a defensive ditch built originally to stop soldiers from reaching these walls. Today there's obviously a ramp been put in so that cars can come down here. Let's go and take a look at the ditch itself, and you can see right at the end you've got all those defences as well covering the ditch. That's quite good, that. There's a transit van there to give you a bit of the idea of the scale. There's your original wall. Don't forget, most of these fortifications were put in by the Moors, and various people have increased them over the years. But if you look at that wall over there, look at all the little bits of damage that have been patched up over the years. The cannonballs have hit it and damaged it, and they've just bricked them up with a bit of cement. It's not very nice. Most of Gibraltar has been recovered, the walls, with Portland stone by the British to make it look nicer, but all the original walls, they're all Moorish. We're in the bottom of the ditch now, Lamport Ditch, and you can see the wall's pretty damned high, and we've got a drawbridge and a portcullis at the end here, which we're going to go and take a look at now. Okay, well, behind this palm tree and things, we've got the Lamport Tunnel, which is a way in to Casemate Square. If you look right up at the top there, you can still see the arrow slits for the because originally you'd be firing bows and arrows at each other until the musket took over. Okay, there's the original Lamport Tunnel entrance, which is a drawbridge. It doesn't work anymore. It's a public walkway into Gibraltar, but there's even another entrance that they could use at the time if the drawbridge was up. They could sneak soldiers out of here and back in if they needed to. The tunnel goes back in and up into that tunnel up there, and there's doors at each end of it. And we're looking down the ramp, down the Lamport Ditch that way. Now right behind me, at the end of the Lamport ditch, you've got the Hesse Demi Bastion, 1730 it says there, on the site of the San Pedro battery. So that's where we are now. Obviously there would have been cannons up there, muskets and that, and they could clear anybody that was standing or trying to get up and down in and out of this ditch. There is in fact a labyrinth of tunnels coming off these tunnels. You've got rooms up there guarding the entrance. Got the old Moorish up there. Bomb-proof battery, 1780. And there's another shot of the Lamport tunnel. It's pedestrianised, you can't go in, no vehicles, nothing. You have to park outside. But I'm going to go and take a look now at the top of the ditch, because this is the original road that came into Gib at the end there. And the top of the ramp, top of the ditch I should say, which is now a car park. You get an idea of the drop and the challenge that soldiers faced, having to carry all these ladders while they're being shot at all the way up this road to try and get over this damn ditch. Look at the size of that. It's all overgrown, and they really should make more of it, really, because this is an active fortress. And there was 16 different sieges here. The place really did get battered big time. You can see the cannonball marks, scars in the walls of the Moorish castle up there. They did actually chop the heads off people and dangle them over the bodies over the side of the walls there, so that the attackers could see, and just throw them off the top, off the walls, and let them bounce down as a lesson to anyone not to try and attack Gibraltar. Amazing place, really. If you're into military architecture and history, to come and see a fortress like this that has actually been engaged in dozens and dozens of assaults and warfare and attacks, it's tremendous amount of history here. There really is. Now it's a shame that you can't go in those batteries up there. They were heavily modified during the Second World War for machine guns and machine gun positions to defend the place. It's tremendous, and you can't see any of the lower fortifications either because they're all concealed behind the buildings. I did mention in an earlier video this weird tree right here. This is where one of the IRA was shot dead. He was running towards the camera now, and a soldier shot him in the back, and he died right here on the ground in front of that tree. Now this is the Laguna estate. This whole council estate was built in the lagoon. They filled it all in, obviously, decided to build on it, so they built the Laguna estate. And this is the original road into Gibraltar. On the other side of the road you've got the Glasses estate, another big council estate. Okay, well this is it. This is the main road into Gibraltar, looking south. So we had the lagoon to our left and the sea to our right. Very difficult to imagine now with all this construction, and the lagoon went all the way down to Sundial roundabout down there next to the War Memorial, as you can see at the end. And on the other side you can just about make out some of the defences. They're the upper defences higher up, but there are another series of cannon positions which are concealed behind the school. And there's the shot from Sundial roundabout back towards the main town. You just about see the castle sticking up over the top there, and we're standing next to the War Memorial, which the Gibraltar government had plans to move down to the King's Bastion, but I don't think the War Graves Commission would allow it. They wanted to build flats here.